When I die, I may not go to heaven. Well, I don't know if they let cowboys in. If they don't, just to let me go to Texas. Texas is as close as I've been. New York couldn't hold my attention, and Detroit City could not sing my song. If tomorrow finds me busted flat in Dallas, well, I won't care, 'cause at least I'll know I'm home. When I die, I may not go to heaven. Well, I don't know if they let cowboys in. If they don't, just to let me go to Texas, boys. Texas is as close as I've been. I'll pick one down. Sing a country song. Well, the beer just ain't as cold in no Milwaukee. My body's here and my soul's in Indiana. When I die, I may not go to heaven. Well, I don't know if they let cowboys in. If they don't, just to let me go to Texas, boy. Texas is as close as I've been. Let's do it. When I die, I may not go to heaven. Well, I don't know if they let cowboys in. If they don't, just to let me go to Texas. Yeah. Texas is as close as I've been. When I die, I may not go to heaven. If they don't, just to let me go to Texas. Texas is as close as I've been. Well, Indiana is as close as we've been.
All right. Thank you for that great welcome for Tanya Tucker.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to be talking with you today. Thank you so much for coming by AOL Bill. This is a real honor.
My pleasure.
So you're in the midst of a tour. You've been touring this year and bringing the great music to your fans. Tell us what a Tanya Tucker tour is in 2016. What can we expect?
Well, I mean, we've just started back on the road. I've been off for about 4 years, and the Hall of Fame called, and where they wanted to do an exhibit. They called it the Strong Enough to Bend exhibit. And that got me back to Nashville. And from that time on, I ended up having, all of a sudden I have a new manager, a new band, new agent, and 60 dates booked on the road. So, it really was kind of before I was kind of ready, I guess. Yeah. But ready or not, here I come. So we're just, we've got about, well, they say 60 dates on the books, but I think they're fibbing. I think they got a lot more than that.
Wow.
But we were in Oregon. We played Oregon night before last. Mm-hmm. Flew all the way across the country this morning, or yesterday morning, and, or actually last night, and got in late last night, and came to New York, and then we're headed to Indiana, actually. That's funny. We're going to Indiana when I get back. And, you know, there's not really any states that we don't really cover. We go everywhere. Wherever they're wanting music, that's where we're going to be. So.
Oh, that's great. So what do you like about touring at this point? What is exciting about it for you?
Well, I think the most exciting thing is just the fact that we have so many great fans that have been with me throughout my career over 45 years. And and are still loyal, and they still want to watch me perform. So, you know, I probably wouldn't make a dime if I had to depend on me liking myself. So I wouldn't buy any of my records, but I'm sure glad somebody else does. You know, I have to keep thinking of different ways to make it exciting, and usually the audiences, every one of them is a challenge. Not anyone is. Even you could play the same place. We played Lincoln City, Oregon, for 2 nights. Beautiful hall and great sound, and you know, one of those places an entertainer really enjoys playing. I'm gonna hear myself when I'm singing, and it actually sounds pretty good. Because sometimes what I hear don't sound very good. And I'm thinking, if that's what they're hearing, I'm in big trouble. But it was a great hall, but each night, with 2 nights there, different audiences.
Yeah.
But it's always a challenge, and we have so many songs to pick from. I mean, my band is brand new, so they're not even close to knowing all my songs yet.
Right.
That's going to take a while.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get seasoned, and you know, being together, playing together. You can rehearse for a month, or all you want, but getting on stage and performing is really where you really learn. It's unfortunate that you have to do it when you're on stage, but there's things that you cannot learn when you're practicing or rehearsing. And so at this point in my career, you know, even the mistakes people enjoy.
Yeah,
So.
sometimes those are the most endearing moments of a concert, I think.
Exactly, because they don't happen all the time. And I did one show one time. I was very hoarse, and I didn't think I was going to be able to make it through the show. But I got up there and just, when you can't sing, you got to dance, and had a great time. And I told the audience, I said, well, this might be the only time you get to see me imitate Louis Armstrong for about an hour. So this is a one-of-a-kind show. But it's true that the special things are what happens sometimes that are unexpected, or just things that go wrong.
Sure.
And believe me, if there's something that'll go wrong, it will go wrong with me. So.
Has there ever been a moment that you think, okay, that was the worst thing that happened live or on tour?
Well, there's been, yeah, I mean, there's been times, really, I remember one time, my dad was always my manager, and I was probably about 14, and back then, promoting country shows, I mean, it could be anybody. If they had a few $100, we'd be there. And we got there, and the promoter forgot to bring the speakers. So there was no speakers. But the place was packed, and I asked my dad, I go, well, Daddy, what am I going to do now? And he said, sing real loud. And so that's what I did, and everybody enjoyed it, and nobody wanted their money back, and we went on down the road.
Yeah, and a lesson learned.
Got our $600, and on down the road we went.
Right. Well, take me back to that time. You were 14 years old. You had your first hit at 13. I mean, what was that like, being at such a young age and, you know, thrust to stardom at that point?
Well, it really didn't feel like stardom, because I saw the backs of kitchens and the back doors. I don't even know what a front door looks like, and so that's where it wasn't glamorous in any way. Played a lot of shopping centers. You know, when you're just starting out your career, you have to go through all the stuff that you got to go through to get where you're going, where you're wanting to go. And a lot of that stuff wasn't at all glamorous, and I certainly didn't feel like a star. And so, of course, my dad made sure of that. But he was my mentor and helped me with my performance and my singing and everything. So he just said, be real with the people. And, you know, that's the way I've always tried to be. But things do go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they still do.
And they still do.
Yeah, well, you know, you have 60 dates this summer, or this year, rather, and into next year to practice with your new band, right?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of practicing.
So when you were 13, do you remember that first musical moment when you were even younger than that, when you said, okay, this is what I want to be doing, you're singing around your house?
Yeah, I mean, I would sing for my dad, and he'd say, sing it again. That's not, you didn't put enough feeling in it. And he told me, he said, you have a couple of problems. He said, one of them is that you're a girl, and this business has always been tough on girls. And he said, you're also a 9-year-old girl at that time when he told me. He said, so that means you're going to have to sing it with twice as much feeling. Twice as much feeling as the artist that recorded it. So I've always kept that, and I've always been able to come up with the feeling and whatever it takes to get the song across. Sort of a little bit of acting, a little bit of this, a little bit of real, you know, because you gotta be honest, but at the same time you're performing. So that's in a kind of a way of just kind of an irony, you know. There's an irony with that because you got to be real, but you're also pretending. And so I guess you got to be real good at it.
Well, you got there. So
Yeah.
you're here to talk about it today.
Right.
So you mentioned about your dad saying, you know, the industry is not, you know, kind to girls. Do you think we're in a better place now than we did when you got your first start in that realm?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, now you have a hit record, and you got 9 buses and 19 semis, and you know, things are they just take off. Back when I first started out, it wasn't that way. And I didn't even have my own band until I was about 15. Been in the business for a couple of years, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, about 3 years. So it was not easy singing with house bands. And my music really isn't jamming kind of music. You don't get up and sing, you know, it's not like singing Rocky Top or you know, getting up and singing Bobby McGee or something. I mean, my music is complicated to play. And it's not just get up and wing it, you know. And I'm particular, so just trying to, you know, every time I'm on stage is a new, it's a new challenge, and it's a new audience. It's always, you know, I always find one more way to feel, you know. There's always, you think, well, I've just about felt everything. But it's not true. Yeah. It'd be something else. I'll go out and I'll think, well, I never felt like this before. So it's always, something's always changing. But the constant is the fans and just putting great music out, recording great songs.
And I feel like you push the boundaries a little bit in the musical genre. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you try?
Well, you're talking about women, and you know, it's a lot different. I don't know if it's easier. I wouldn't say it's necessarily easier in this business today. It might be even harder. But there's just some things about it that might be a lot easier. You know, the way we get around and the way we get. You know, Hank Williams was died in the back of a Cadillac going to a show. You know, so there's a lot of things. Technology is of course better. We've got better quality sound. I'm not so sure that some of it on the other side of that is sometimes you don't even have to be in the studio. 2 people don't have to be in the studio together. They can just phone their part in. You know, I mean, I really like to be in the studio. I was just in the studio with Charlie Pride, and he's celebrating his 50th year in country music, and of course a hero of mine from when I was a kid, and to be able to sing a song with him now was wow. It was a great feeling. You don't get over that. I don't get over that. I'm always I like the fact that I'm impressed, or I'm, you know, a little nervous maybe around some of my heroes. I still feel, after all these years of being in this business, I still feel excited about it, and excited to meet people that are in it as well. You know, everybody thinks we all hang out with each other. It's not true. We just, every now and then at award shows, or maybe coming to New York like this, I got to meet a few. I got to meet Daniel Radcliffe a while ago, and he was very nice. And I go, my kids are going to just die when I tell them I met you. You know, so it's always really wonderful to be able to meet people that you really enjoy their talent and look up to them and find out they're pretty cool people too.
You've collaborated with so many people over the years. Yeah. Are there any favorites or moments that stand out?
Well, I've yet to really do the collaborations that I really want to do. I mean, I'm looking forward to taking that on and maybe doing a possible duet project with some kind of people that maybe, I mean, I'm thinking Tom Petty. I always wanted to do something with Merle Haggard, and of course, time ran out on that, and that makes me really very sad. But there, different people. Eric Clapton's one of my favorites. Love to do something with maybe one of the new boys, like maybe Keith or Blake or one of those guys. Might be fun. But I still have a lot left to do, in that you think, you run out of, my daughter, someone was telling me yesterday, how they're going to run out of ideas for songs. How can they come up with, look like everything has been said? But it's amazing. It's just like poetry, it just comes out of different people. It comes out different ways. And there's always going to be something new. And in this kind of business that I'm in, there are always new. You're never at the top of the mountain. You're always, I always feel like I'm looking at Mount Everest and I'm putting my hiking boots on, going, well, I'm fixing to get up there, and I'm getting up there someday, but I never feel like I'm there yet. It's always a journey. And, but anytime I can collaborate with people that I really respect and enjoy their talent is always, wow, makes me feel great, and it's something that I enjoy doing.
I would love to see that duets album. I'm sure your fans
I would.
do.
I mean, I
Call
really,
Petty and Clapton. Get them on board.
Yeah, I would love it. And Dylan, I'd love to do something with Bob. He's been wanting to do something, and these guys ain't getting any younger, and neither am I. So we need to get to it.
You need to get going. You got to get calling. Do you have another album in the works? Or?
I have one in the can right now that I've had for a while. It's just needs a few little things. Just a few little things that would have it done. It's not mixed yet or anything, but I think it's the best I've done. I think what makes me say that is, of course, I've been involved in every part of it, in every little vessel, every little intricate detail. I've been there. Every bass player that I had 5 times on one track, so I couldn't get the right bass sound. So I've been involved more with this album than I have ever been with a record, and involved with the songs. And the songs it's just not just singing a song and then feeling that way. It's hearing a song and making it my own. I've tried to always do that, but I think these songs tell more about where I am at right now in my life. And an older, hopefully a little wiser. And, people talk about legend, and I said, legend in my spare time. I don't walk around the house looking in the mirror saying, oh, I'm a legend, hey, I've done it all. I've got a lot of things left to do.
Oh, I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Throughout your 45-year career, you have amassed a lot of things as well, and I understand
Right.
you're putting them to charity and selling some of them
Yes.
on auction, right?
Yes, everything but the house, ebth.com. I've partnered with them, and I had 15,000 square foot warehouse just full of stuff that I've collected and that I've worn and had, and my life, really my life, my whole life. And I just thought, it's just collecting dust. Mm-hmm. Somebody might could enjoy some of this stuff. And of course, I had to consider my kids and things that they'd wanted and they'd want of mine, and different things like that. And maybe later on, they talk about doing a museum or something. That seems way a little too soon for me right now, a museum. But they talk about maybe later doing that. So I'm trying to keep some things for that.
Okay.
But, I just thought, well, if I'm just spread the love, and it also goes to a great charity and helping musicians and artists or singers that are down on their luck, which Lord knows can happen every now and then.
Yeah, it's nice that it goes to a good cause. How do you go about thinking, okay, I'm going to keep this versus I'm going to donate this?
It's very emotional.
Yeah.
It really is emotional. I can't tell you. I'd be lying if I told you it wasn't pretty tough to let some things go. But I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Put it on and die with it? Going to take it to wherever I'm going after this life. And so I thought, instead of just sitting in a warehouse, I'm paying every month to keep it up. I might as well get rid of that because it's just it's almost like a burden, and a release. So, I've had to say to myself, just let it go, let it go. Someone will enjoy it. So I'm hoping that is going to work out good, and I'm hoping that all works out well. But you never know.
Yeah,
You never
but
know.
then you'll have stuff that you'll keep too. And
Well, I
pass
can
on
always
to-
go out and buy some new
You
stuff.
you can.
Yeah.
You're also getting an ACM honor or award, right? And that's
Yes.
coming up this year. What's this all about?
Well, it's the Cliffy Stone, actually the Pioneer Award, where they give to people that have, I guess, done a lot in music and for our music. And I'm in good company with Crystal Gale, and Glenn Campbell is also being honored. And so I'm very, and Cliffy Stone was a very good friend of mine from the old days, and I always knew Cliffy, and he was always one of those guys that was always around, and one of those people that you needed to know. And so I'm very honored to be honored and to be recognized. It's always nice.
I love that. Well, congratulations on that and everything else you have going on.
Thank
we
you.
have a crowd here with some questions for you, so we'd love to get
Don't
that
make it
going.
too hard.
Yeah, keep them easy.
Hey, how you doing? I really appreciate your words, by the way. I'm a performer myself, and it really gets hard sometimes to keep on going. And you're obviously successful, so what are some words that you can give performers to keep on going and not stopping, and to believe in themselves? Because that's obviously something we struggle with a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, of course, you got to keep on, like Billy Ray Cyrus said, keep on swinging, you'll get a hit, But I think part of that has to be inside of you. I mean, I look back on my life and think, wow, I should have got frustrated at that point. If I'd have been me then, if I'd have been me now, I probably would have gotten more frustrated. I probably would have quit. But for some reason, I never did. And I guess that my dad told me one thing one time. He said, you don't have to be in love with what you have to go through to get to your goal, but you have to be in love with your goal, and you have to want to be there. And if you have to go through all this to get there, then that's so be it. You just got to want to be able to do that. But don't give up. And then there's times when I see some people that should give up.
You got a good laugh out of that one.
But it just depends. And a lot of people have told. I've heard. Everybody's heard that story one time or another. Oh, go back to driving trucks. They told Elvis. I bet that guy felt like a fool.
Seriously.
But yeah, it's hard to say. You just got to keep on trucking.
Wise words, Tanya.
Thank you.
So, throughout the course of your career, what was the most surprising venue or town that you performed in that, as far as turnout goes? Because I know I've been to a couple of country shows out in New York City, even the Barclays Center, and it would be filled to the rafters. And normally, country music isn't associated with a town like New York,
Yes.
but the people are there.
No,
Was
we
there-
we have some of our best crowds actually, really, up here and in the north and in the Midwest. We really do. We've never had that problem. We've had in Canada, I was in Toronto one time, and I had the choice between going to Toronto, and believe me, if it asked me again today, I'd say it'd be a different answer. But I had the choice between going to Tahiti or going to a place in Canada, in Toronto, that was, you had to wear a suit and tie to get in, and it was all, very, very, just, how would you say it? It wasn't country at all. I mean, you had to have a jacket and tie, and my dad was in the audience, and I, of course, chose to work because nobody in the country music industry had ever filled it, and it was $100 a ticket. And back then, it's been quite a few years ago, $100 was a lot for a ticket, especially to come see a country act. And I wanted to take that challenge on, so I went ahead and accepted the date. We played there 4 or 5 days. But the best story about that is Bob Dylan came in, and they wouldn't let him in because he didn't have a jacket. And he goes, if I could just hear Blood Red and Going Down, or Would You Lay With Me, I'd be cool, man. and the maitre d' says, sir, you cannot come in like that. You have to have a jacket, And so my dad overheard all this. He said, mother, go up and get my jacket. So she come back down and brought Bob Dylan the jacket. So they put it on him, and he sat at their table and watched my show. And of course, I got a note up on stage saying that Bob Dylan's on the audience. And I thought it was a joke. So I said, can you imagine Bob Dylan singing Delta Dawn? She's 41. And so I was just imitating him, not knowing he was in the audience. And when I came off stage, there was my dad standing there with Bob Dylan. And I went, oh, my God. So he came up to the room, and I had to do a little press. And he was there for about 5 hours. I think it was daylight before he left. But we started a relationship and have been friends ever since.
What a story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your great questions. We got an amazing story out of it. And hopefully maybe we'll see Bob Dylan and you on a record at some point.
Oh, yeah, I would love it. Well, I went to see him in Nashville about a year or two ago. And he said, man, he goes, I got a song you got to sing with me. We got to do this. I'm waiting.
You're waiting. Well, we're waiting too. Thank you so much for your time today.
I love it. Thank
you for
y'all.
everything. Thank you.